On a stormy night, god Zeus and human Alcmene's son was born. To appease the goddess, his mother gave him the name Hercules, which means glory of Hera. Hera considered the boy's birth as an insult and intended to kill him. Two serpents arise from the eyes of a Hera statue and snake towards the kid, but a young Hercules snaps their necks with his godlike strength. As an adult, Hercules performed his famous 12 labors. He walks through a marsh to confront the Lernaean Hydra, attacking off their heads one by one. He battled the Erymanthian boar and defeated it with his club. His most well-known feat was the slaughter of the Nemean lion, a beast with a hide so strong that no weapon could penetrate it. Iolaus, Hercules' nephew, is tied up and hung over a wooden pike just below his groin as he tells the story of his uncle. He gets captured by pirates who have invaded Macedonia. The pirate leader doesn't believe a word of Iolaus' story and begins to burn the rope that is holding him. The leader fails to notice Hercules standing behind him, wearing the Nemean lion's skin and bragging about killing the beast with his bare hands, or so they say. Hercules charges forward with his friends, the seers Amphiaraus, Autolycus, Atalanta, and Tydeus, and defeats all the pirates and pushing Iolaus to safety before he falls onto the pike. Hercules kills the leader with one powerful swing of his club. Hercules and his friends go to a bar to eat and drink. A woman named Erginia approaches them and asks Hercules to help her father defend the kingdom of Thrace from a warlord. If he succeeds, he and his companions will be greatly rewarded. Autolycus gives a plate of food towards Hercules and tells him to eat. The crew travels to Thrace. Erginia's son Arius rushes up to Hercules, excited to meet the great hero after hearing of his 12 labors. General Siticles leads Hercules and his companions to see Erginia's father. Hercules is questioned if he's ever come this close to royalty. He recalls traveling to King Eurystheus' kingdom 3 years ago and handing him the Hydra heads. He has also been reunited with his wife Megara and their 3 children. Hercules then sees his family crying and the walls covered with blood. Hercules is brought to see Lord Codes, Erginia's father. He asks Hercules' assistance in fighting an army led by the fearsome warlord Rhesus. He looks at Atalanta and says this task is not for a woman, but she quickly shows him incorrect by shooting 2 arrows at 2 soldiers' helmets and throwing it out of their hands. It is stated that his army are centaurs that destroyed Codes' forces. Hercules promises to train Codes' warriors for combat. It begins with the men forming their shields for protection, but they are easily taken down when Tydeus charges at them. Arius walks around at night when he hears snarling. He looks into the darkness to see Tydeus, who lunges at him, but the youngster flees. Hercules finds him and tells Arius that he and his fellow soldiers found Tydeus as a youngster in Thebes after a war destroyed his home, and Tydeus still does not talk. Hercules returns Arius to his mother, who is in the hospice caring for the injured and sickly. Hercules presents Arius a Nemean lion's tooth as a gift, which excites the kid. Hercules leads the warriors to the Bessi heartland. Iolaus attempts to join the army, but Hercules refuses to let him fight. The area has already been devastated, with countless bodies sprawled everywhere, including small children, and men's heads placed on spikes for the display. The soldiers come upon numerous fresh dead, which turn out to be savages who have planned a trap for them. The warriors stand with their shields raised, and Hercules breaks off the head of one of Atalanta's arrows. One of the savages charges at Hercules, and he strikes him so hard that he flies backward, the arrowhead getting stuck to his skull. The Thracians confront the savages, while Hercules and his men fight back, leaving Iolaus and Codes to be guarded. Atalanta swings her bladed bow and fires arrows without looking behind her. Tydeus charges at the savages, and Autolycus uses his weapons as well. When it appears that the savages have overpowered them, Hercules and Amphiaraus ride a horse-drawn chariot armed with blades, murdering every last savage in sight. The troops mourn the deceased, and Iolaus covers Hercules' wounds so that the others do not see him bleed like a mortal. Codes shouts out Rhesus, knowing he is behind it, but unaware that the warlord is watching from a distance. Erginia takes care of Hercules' wounds in Thrace. When she asks if he has ever had a family, he dodges the question and sends her away. That night, he overhears screaming. He wanders outside and discovers dead bodies everywhere, including those of his wife and children. Hercules then faces Cerberus, Hades' 3-headed dog. Tydeus arrives and snaps Hercules out of his reverie. Amphiaraus claims that this has happened before. The next morning, Erginia meets Hercules' friends and asks Iolaus to tell her the truth about what happened to Hercules' family. Iolaus attempts to explain that everything happened when Hera drove him insane, but Erginia dismisses this as myth. Regardless, Autolycus informs Erginia that they all have a reason to believe Hercules. Hercules leads the warriors to Mount Asticus, where they spot what look to be centaurs in the distance. They rush towards the Thracians, just realize that they are only men riding horses. Rhesus announces his coming to the soldiers, but Hercules is not intimidated. The Thracians confront Rhesus' men, demonstrating themselves to be more powerful than previously. The opposing army fires fiery arrows at the Thracians. Amphiaraus, believing his time has come, stands in there, welcoming death, yet not a single arrow hits him. Rhesus charges at Hercules on his horse, but Hercules grabs it and flips him and Rhesus over. Rhesus and his troops are returned to Thrace, where they are humiliated and have garbage thrown at them. A feast is held while Rhesus is chained up as a prisoner. Erginia feels guilty for him and attempts to get him some water, but Hercules refuses. Hercules gets Erginia alone after noticing her stare at Rhesus, and it is learned that Hercules engineered the entire conflict to obtain power and control over the kingdom, with Rhesus only getting involved. Erginia just wants Arius to be secure, as he will take the throne after Hercules dies. She asks Hercules to take the boy with him, but he declines. He rushes to confront Hercules, who expresses no regret for his deeds and offers Hercules a position in his army. Hercules refuses. The crew receives their gold, but Hercules wishes to stay and help Thrace. Autolycus decides to go, taking his portion of money with him, despite the others' pleas to stay. Atalanta, Amphiaraus, and Tydeus resolve to help Hercules defeat Hercules. However, when they all go to confront him, they are apprehended, along with Erginia and Arius. Hercules is chained up in the dungeon, while his companions are imprisoned in cells. He sees what appears to be Cerberus, but they are actually 3 deadly wolves. King Eurystheus enters, only to confess that he is in alliances with Hercules. It is also revealed that he poisoned Hercules the night his family was slain, ordering the wolves to attack and kill them, because Eurystheus regarded Hercules as a threat to his empire when his people chanted his name louder than his own. To make things worse, Hercules orders Erginia's execution right there in the dungeon. Amphiaraus advises Hercules to remember what he has accomplished and who he is. He shouts, "Who are you?" The man screams, "I am Hercules." He breaks the chains and swings at the executioner, preventing him from removing Erginia's head. She flees to save the others as the wolves attack Hercules. Hercules slams one against the wall, then breaks another's jaw, and then kills the last one with the Nemean lion's tooth, which Arius passed back to him while being arrested. The Thracian soldiers attempt to attack after everyone, including Rhesus, has been freed. One throws a spear through fire at Amphiaraus, which he believes would kill him. He was about to accept his fate when Hercules grabbed the spear and threw it back at the soldier. Hercules then pursues Eurystheus, who attempts to avoid responsibility by claiming Hercules corrupted him. He begs forgiveness, but Hercules takes Eurystheus' knife and impales him with it. Cydicles suddenly appears and captures Hercules with his whip, but Iolaus impales him from behind, preparing to join the fight. The last battle takes place outside the palace, with Hercules standing before his warriors. They bring Arius out and threaten to kill him if Hercules does not surrender. A soldier holds a knife to the boy's neck, but he is killed by a knife thrown by Autolycus, who decided to return for his companions. The Thracians battle Hercules and his men, while Arius flees to his mother. Tydeus gets injured by an arrow, but he doesn't let it stop him from killing every soldier in his way. Hercules rescues him, and Tydeus only utters Hercules' name before dying. The crew uses oil and fire to block the Thracians, and Hercules begins to push the Hera statue off its base. Hercules begins shouting at Hercules, calling him a coward and claiming that his family deserved to die. Hercules eventually manages to shatter the statue from its foundation, forcing it to collapse, crushing some troops while the head rolls and smashes into Hercules, sending him over a cliff. The remaining warriors put down their weapons and kneel to Hercules, chanting his name. The rest of his friends is standing behind him. Amphiaraus concludes by claiming that he favors the story of Hercules to the myth. He claims that being a hero does not require you to be a demigod, all you need is the belief that you can be one. He says, "But what do I know? I am supposed to be dead,